Hello everyone and welcome to a guide on how to add simple autopilot to your airships. This is not a tutorial or a guide to airships themselves, so if you're looking for that, then check out this video here. With that, let's get into the basics. To start off, we want to take a look at the navigation table. This is the core part that is going to direct your airship to a location. So whenever you have this navigation table, you can put a map with a banner or a compass and lodestone, and it will point to that location. So right here I have a little setup, and you ignore this redstone for now. So we have the lodestone and a map. So let's go ahead and grab a map and a compass, and I'll link this, create a map, and then link this. So now we can see that little map icon on here, and it will point to it. And if I replace this with the lodestone compass, it will do the same. Either one works. It is perfectly fine, whichever. Do keep in mind that lodestones in this version will require a netherite ingot, so unless you have a recipe changer or you're really rich, I would not recommend that. Next, we're going to have the modulating linked receiver and a directional linked receiver. These two seem very complicated, but it is really simple. This modulating receiver gets a higher signal the closer the link is to it. And this one, it depends on the direction. So something right in front of this antenna here would be a 15, while something off at this angle would be like a 10. I don't know. Those are your core 3 special blocks for doing this. Just keep in mind what they do. Now, right here we have my Gale airship, and this is my main autopilot airship that I built to showcase what I had made, which you can see the video for up here in the top right corner, which is not at the like goal yet. So if you want the schematic, get some likes on that video, or you can become a member. In the future, I may release a similar autopilot airship for free without a like goal, just to get it out there. But this guide should allow you to pretty much recreate this if you wanted to. First, I'm going to tear away the exterior decoration so we can see what's inside of it. Okay, so now that we've stripped away this flooring here, we can see a modulating linked receiver, a navigation table, and then back here is where I've put my directional linked receiver. So this modulating linked receiver is going to control the speed. So as you get closer to your destination, you get slower. And this directional linked receiver will stop you once you're above your location. And that directional linked receiver is set to the same frequency that we have underneath our waystone here. And we're giving it constant power, and this signal here is very important, and I recommend using colored wool because this will be the marker to control which waystone you go to. So this village marker has that control signal. And now that we're back up here, if you look, this has the same wool, which means it is detecting for that right there, and it is currently outputting a signal. So if you want to change your waystone location and where your autopilot takes you, you have to change the signal here, here, and you'll have to replace the navigation table object, which is why I recommend having a barrel with a dedicated book and quill, colored wool, and all of your locations. And as you can see here, I have marked the village signal as top red and bottom orange, which is what you see here. So now let's get into how it functions. So first, we have this right here, which is a redstone link that is going to turn on and off the autopilot. So if I flick it on, you'll notice back here that this piston gets pushed down, which allows the signal to go through. So if I flick it again, the piston is up. This redstone comparator is reading off this link. This link is the modulating receiver. So when you need to go at a slower speed, it will take it from here. And as you can see, it's actually outputting a 9 right now because we're getting closer to the signal. And as we get closer, it'll get higher, which in turn slows down our analog transmission, which slows down our propellers back here. Because remember, the higher the power level, the slower you get with analog transmissions. And so now here we have a lever set almost to max, set to 14, so it allows 1 signal strength through. And this goes into a comparator, which means only 14 signal strength or higher, and it will stop this vehicle. So this here is hooked up to our directional receiver. So whenever this gets fully powered, and only then does it get fully powered, this signal will allow it to go through, and it will hard stop the analog transmission at the maximum power, therefore stopping the vehicle once that directional receiver here lines up with the one that's on your waystone. And that is how you automatically stop. And now you might be wondering, what if you're outside of the range of this modulating receiver? Well, that's why you keep the throttle on. You will keep the throttle on, and you will allow the other systems to override the power level, and once you stop, you turn this off, and then you turn this off. It is very important you remember that order so you don't just go flying whenever you are parked. So now let's get into the navigation table. It is really simple. Left, right, forward. This controls the right gear shift. That will cause me to turn right, which is hooked up to the same thing as this. And the left one is the opposite, to turn the other way. This forward powers you forward. Okay guys, I want to make a really quick correction that I totally messed up earlier, and this receiver that was in front is not needed. I am very sorry, I completely messed up and totally forgot that that was from an experiment that I was trying to do something else with. This here is all you need to control the speed. It will always go full speed because this will be full speed when it's not being forced otherwise, such as when you're turning. There's a couple extra nuances here. So whenever either of these are on for turning, it will actually input a power here, which is then lowered and then put into your transmission, which forces the speed all the way down so you don't oversteer. So if I were to, let's say, grab the village, I would put it in here, I would turn on this, and then I would turn the power on, and notice how we're turning slow. If you can see here, that's pushing, that's turning, and right now we're locked, which is why it's not actually moving. So if I unlock it, it would begin turning. However, if I wasn't turning, it would be going a lot faster because this is still only at a 9 power level. It wouldn't be going at the slowest possible speed. Now, if you wanted to go a little bit faster, you can control this. So now it's going a bit faster, a bit faster. You just don't want to oversteer while you're turning because it can cause some issues. So I'm now going to remove this. And then if we look back here, there is another link here. And then this is your just main throttle. So notice how it is fully off and this is fully off. And now if that's fully on, this is fully on. This is your normal throttle and it will pretty much override anything if it is fully off. Or sorry, fully on, which means that throttle is fully off. And that is quite literally it. And there we go. And now that we're getting slower, you can see that it is slowing down. It's no longer going max at all. And it's going to keep getting slower as we get closer until it gets over top of it. And that's because of the modulating receiver right here that is going into this, which is going into the transmission controlling your speed. And we're almost over it, and then in a second this will override, which it seems to have. Cool. You can see it is still spinning a little, and now it's stopped. Okay, so now a couple things to keep in mind. The placement of this does not matter. The placement of this does not matter. The placement of this does matter. The directional receiver is where you will stop. So if I go into spectator here and go straight down, notice how it is pretty much on top of it. Now there's going to be like a 5 to 10 block error because you're letting a signal strength of 14 go through, not 15. However, usually it will still end up being 15 because you will drift slightly. Just keep that in mind. Sorry, correction. It will go through at a 14, which will force you to the slowest. And then it will stop once it hits 15. Which is usually still within a little bit of a block range because of how high up you are. Now, keep in mind, before you move around, you turn this down and you turn off the autopilot, as well as remove the navigation table's item. You can leave the signal fine. This will not override anything unless this lever is on. Keep that in mind, and I hope this video helps. It's really simple, I think, to make it, and it's not as complicated as a lot of people think it is. If you want to add auto docking capabilities, now that adds quite a bit more complexity depending on what system you want. But if you want a video of me making an airship or making a guide on how to add auto docking, let me know. And I know there's a lot of other videos out there already on auto docking, and a lot of those guys make very good videos too. If I forgot anything, I'll put it in a pinned comment below, and if you have any questions, then please join the Discord to ask me. And with that, thank you all for watching, and I hope this helped you out. If it did, make sure to subscribe and like, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.